Welcome here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora on wakeupcalldt.com, your one-stop sports shop, and the free Wake Up Call DT app for those listening in. For those viewing, you're also finding us here on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. It is an honor and a privilege to have in studio, and this will go down in history, Ace. This is something big here for Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. In the new studio, this is the first player of any sports that's ever been inside my studio here for Dan Tortora Broadcast Media. Austin Morris goes by Ace Moore as well, a defensive lineman for the Syracuse Strong in their first season, and a phenomenal story that you have of a man that's obviously searching for that right fit and going after your dreams and your aspirations. So, you know, Ace, before anything else, thanks for coming into the studio and thanks for making history.
Yeah, no problem. I'm excited to be here today. It's been a while since I've been in the studio. I think just playing football right now for me is a big step in my life. So I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to make history, and let's see where it goes from here.
And in speaking on making history, you're trying to do something special for yourself, but we have to kind of rewind back and see where everything started. What made you passionate about the sport of football? What made you fall in love with football in the beginning?
I think in the beginning what made me fall in love was just seeing my older cousins playing football. You know, I came from a long span of a big family. My grandmother, she had 12 children. So of them 12 children, all the sons and daughters had about 2 kids each. So from there, I had a lot of uncles and a lot of cousins who played sports as well. So just growing up, just seeing them play, I fell in love with it. My closest friends, we all play sports, and then, you know, as you go through middle school, junior high school, you just start to love it more and more. You start to love the feelings of fans. You start to love the feelings of, you know, just family coming out to the games, and also just the feeling you get with the team.
Bring me back to your high school days. Where did you play? Where did you grow up? What was that community that meant a lot to you?
Okay, so I played at CNS High School, Cicero North Syracuse High School. I played 2008, 2009 under Coach Ellis. We had our motto was commitment to excellence.
Yeah.
So you know, that motto meant a lot to us, and that motto also didn't just stay on the football field. It went into the classroom and went into, you know, if you're going out into the community and doing different things. So commitment to excellence meant a lot to us at CNS. So, you know, just being in high school, just to be in that part of the team. In 2008, we had a great team. We had a lot of players go D1. We lost a close game to West Tennessee that I would never, ever forget for the rest of my life. It was a field goal win. So, and West Tennessee ended up winning the state championship that year. So it was 2 good teams battling it out.
When you look back on your time at CNS, what were some of the biggest things? You know, the commitment to excellence, obviously, the mantra of the team, but what were some things that you took away from CNS, some things that maybe you have in life today, not just in football, but overall, that you can look back and say, you know, I'm happy that this coach taught me this, or that I had this teammate? Are there any of those moments? A
lot of those moments. We had coaches that they would teach us things that that's dying right now. So little things, like I had one coach who didn't like me to practice with gloves on. He said you need to be able to feel the person out, and so in college I ended up, you know, going to practice without gloves on.
Yeah.
But other than that, it was just the simple things that make you love football. And but one thing that I will always bring with me with life through high school football was just the hard work. You can't teach hard work. You're not born with hard work. It's just something in your mind that says, I'm gonna do it, and this is what I need to do, and this is what it takes to go to the next level, whether we're talking about a job interview or if we're talking about just going and hanging out with friends and playing Call of Duty or Madden or something.
When you move on from CNS and you went over to AIC in Springfield, Massachusetts, what made that decision for you to move forward there? What was it about AIC that you felt like that would be a good fit for you?
When I went to AIC, it was a great opportunity. First and foremost, I was coming out of high school. I didn't start my junior year in high school. So my senior year, I started and I made a name for myself. And so that was kind of something that turned me into the man I am today, because I had to just learn how to just continue to fight and a lot of people, they don't.
That could be your call right there. That could be that CFL, NFL call right there, man, in studio here.
I hope so. I hope so. The biggest thing about what made me go to AIC is I had 3 friends that actually ended up going to AIC with me, and we all sat down together and said it was a perfect opportunity. I was verbally committed to Wagner College coming out of high school, and that was Division I, and AIC was Division II. But the thing about Wagner was that I was going to school with no friends, and I was in that mindset where I could go to school with friends. It could help me fill out college, and if I had to transfer, I had to transfer. But when I got to AIC, I loved it. The people were good, the coaches were enthusiastic, so that made me feel that my commitment to AIC was the right one. And on top of that, like I said, I had friends that went to AIC with me, so it just helped out, the travel to go to AIC. And then also another thing was, I graduated 2009. AIC just came off winning the championship. They were, I believe that year they were, I want to say 10-1, I think. So they had a great season. And just seeing their highlights and just seeing the way those boys played, I felt like it was a good fit for me. And they used to call AIC the Black Hole. That's what our home games, it was the Black Hole, because our colors were black and gold. So just playing with those people, in my mind, just seeing it just made me just want to go to AIC, because I like playing with a hungry defense. I like playing with a defense that swarms, and that was something that just made me say AIC is the place to go.
What did you take away from your time at AIC? You had a redshirt freshman year, played freshman, sophomore, junior, did not play your senior season, decided to do something else. We'll get to that later on here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. But what did you learn from AIC? What were the big takeaways from AIC?
The biggest takeaway I got from AIC was just learning other people. And I'm not even talking about sports right now. Just at AIC, American International College, you met people from everywhere. And I know in college you're going to meet people from everywhere, but literally at AIC I had teammates that were from Hawaii, Florida, Germany, Canada. So we had tons of different people. So being at AIC, it just taught me how to just deal with different people, and that's something that you're going to take with life. And that's the biggest thing I feel like, because in life I know that you're dealing with different people every day. And you're never going to deal with somebody that you always like 100%. Yeah. You're never going to deal with somebody that you guys just click. Sometimes, I'm not going to say you're forcing it, but sometimes you just have to, get to learn somebody and take back your pride a little bit and be humble. And that's something that AIC taught me, because the people there were just awesome. And the coaches there, they taught me a lot. And coming out of high school, I was only 17. When I went to AIC, I had to actually send my ESPN NCAA paperwork to my parents. They had to sign it because I was 17. You have to be 18 to do that. So going there, I was young, but the coaches, they took me under their wing, and they taught us everything that the older classmen, the upperclassmen knew. And also we had coaches that played, grad assistants that came in, and they just helped us out a lot. So I was able to just fit right in, and that's something that, let's say I'm 10 years in the pros, or I'm 5 years in semi-pro, I'm gonna know how to take those younger gentlemen under my wing, because I saw what the upperclassmen did with me at AIC, and that's something I will never forget.
When you go there as a 17-year-old to American International College, I think some things that I know it gets forgotten in recruiting, and a lot of what I do, talking with kids that are in high school, going into college, is that people forget that they're 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 years old. Going to college at 17, 18, 19, you're still a teenager, 3 years in there, 2-3 years in there. What were some of the biggest things that you had to learn? Were you the immature teenager? Were you the more mature than your years? I mean, how were you in college?
Definitely. When I came out of high school, I honestly thought that I was immature. And that's my own personal feeling. Yeah. Coming out of high school, I thought I had a lot of growing to do. But at AIC, the coaches, the direction that they put you in, it was just you learn how to be mature. It was just inevitable to not learn how to be mature. And I say that because, from being on time to film, coming to every practice, paying attention during practice, all those three kind of, put you in that direction to be a mature person. But also, AIC was good at taking the underclassmen and doing little small group meetings with the underclassmen just to teach them how to get accumulated to college. So that helped me out a lot. But my mindset when I went to AIC at 17 was I wanted to be a starter. Yeah. So to be a starter, I had to watch the upperclassmen. And if I wanted to play, I had to do what the upperclassmen did. So luckily, we had upperclassmen that weren't immature, that actually loved the sport, that actually loved the program, and they took everything seriously. So seeing how serious they were, it was just a virus. It was a virus. You seen somebody doing something, you did it, and in my case, it was positive things that helped me out.
When you look back on your time at American International College, did you achieve what you wanted to achieve? Did you feel like you had gotten the most out of it?
I believe I got a lot out of going to ASC. Not playing my senior year kind of was like a tamper on who I thought I would be right now, currently as I sit right here next to you. But the biggest thing about ASC was that I took a lot out of it, because coming out of high school and then going into college, the coaches, they taught me different moves, different hand placement, just watching film every day, just learning different defenses. That really got me into the level where I never thought or even could imagine where I needed to be at, just because I just didn't know. Yeah. Being 15, 16 in high school, we watched film, but a lot of coaches didn't really talk about defense, about the coverages, about, if the offense lines up here, what do you do? One technique, what do you do? How do you loop? Like all the little things that turns you into a great player, I learned at AIC, and a lot of that is still the reason why I feel like I'm doing so well right now in semi-pro.
What in that senior season made you say, I don't want to be out there on the field? I know you took an internship elsewhere and, more on the political side of things. What made that decision for you to not play your last year?
What really made me take that decision was that being in an internship with Governor Patrick, I felt as if that was really a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I knew that I had the talent to, either come back and play in grad school or try out for a team a year later, or, go play semi-pro. So just being accepted into the internship, I had to look myself in the mirror and say, hey, I'm a political science major. Governor Patrick is a big-time political, candidate in Massachusetts. Why not do this? Why not, take the time to learn something that's going to help me down the line? And my life has always been about creating longevity. So, and doing that internship was a stamp on my life that will help me create longevity for my future, because I learned how to do little things. I learned the background stuff that takes into consideration when you're handling paperwork, when you're doing emails, when you're learning how to talk to people in a professional setting. That really helped me out, and that grew me up, because then again, when I was doing the internship, I was only 21. Yeah. So I wasn't 23, I wasn't 25, I was still really young, and it was just a big choice that I had to make for my life. And I still think it was a great choice, because the experience of meeting Governor Patrick, just the experience of being in Boston, just the experience overall, just really I will never forget it. I will never forget it, and just something that I would take and I would tell my kids about. Anytime someone wants to talk about politics, I always bring up that internship, because it was just a great time in my life.
How much did you miss football?
Oh, I missed it every day. Actually, that year that I did the internship, AIC won the championship. And they won the championship actually on my birthday. So I still went to every game.
Yeah.
I would come and I would check out the practices when I can. I would sit down with the players, and we would talk about who's doing this and who's doing that, and who made the biggest hit during practice, and then also the defensive line. We were all best friends. I will never forget it. I will never forget it, and just something that I would take and I would tell my kids about. Anytime someone wants to talk about politics, I always bring up that internship because it was just a great time in my life.
How much did you miss football?
Oh, I missed it every day. I missed it every day. Actually, that year that I did the internship, AIC won a championship, and they won the championship actually on my birthday. So I still went to every game.
Yeah.
I would come and I would check out the practices when I can. I would sit down with the players, and we would talk about who's doing this and who's doing that, and who made the biggest hit during practice, and then also the defensive line. We were all best friends. Yeah. So we would talk, and they would say, hey, if you were playing still, we would have did this during this game, and little stuff like that made me miss football so much. But then I had to remind myself about my longevity.
Yeah.
But like I said, they won a championship, and that was awesome. I was very excited for them. I was at the game. The whole stadium rushed the field after the game, so it was amazing. And it just so happened I wasn't part of it.
Not being part of that championship, did you regret anything in that moment? Do you regret it now?
I don't regret it. I don't regret it because, like I said, I was fully content with my longevity, with my political science major, and I knew that it was big for me. One thing that I thought I was going to do was I wanted to actually go to another school and get into law school, and I knew that internship in law school, and then I could still probably play football while in law school. And that was a decision that I wanted to take. So I didn't regret it. I knew where my life was going. I knew that I had 1 year left to play football. So I just I stepped back, like let my pride go, and I just watched them out, and I'm excited for them. And honestly, it was my birthday. So I got to celebrate my birthday with the champions.
Right.
So it was good.
Political science, football, where do they both stand in your life right now? Because I know you said you're always looking at longevity, always trying to set yourself up for a positive future in the present. Where do both land right now?
They're both still side by side. And, some people tell me, Austin, you can't do so much at one time. You're going to have to pick one thing. And I don't believe that, because at age 23, I believe that I still have a lot to prove. I still have a lot to gain, and I have a lot to learn, but also I have so much to offer. So just being, 23 in social media will help me create longevity. So right now, I'm looking at my father. He's running for council at large. So I'm helping him out with his election. I'm helping him out, and I'm posting things. I'm setting up. I'm asking people if we could put a sign in their yard. I'm handing out pamphlets. I'm still doing all the politics, but also, after I'm done doing that, I'm going to the gym. I'm here with you. Or, I'm at practice. So they're still side by side. And honestly, when football is all said and done, I still have that political base where I could go and run my own election. And that's something that I'm still thinking about doing in the future, 10, 15 years down from the line.
What made your dad want to run? Is this something that you like political science because of your father? Did your father see you in it? I mean, what's made him want to be a part of it?
I think with me, it's sort of like if you're a type of person who looks up to your father, and most men do. And, I was that type of guy that looked up to my father. And seeing the excitement and the feeling that he got during his elections, and seeing, I would go somewhere with my father, either if it's the subway or going to the movies or, just cutting the grass or something. People would come up to my dad and have full conversations with him because they respected him, and that was something that I really looked at and I said, wow, and that's amazing that people like my father, and so that made me start to like it. And then on top of that, I'm the type of guy who I believe that politics actually, it's something that our generation has to pay attention to, and a lot of our generation don't pay attention to it. And it's because it's really not cool for our generation. Our generation is more about what's cool and what's now. So, for someone my age to look at it like that,
yeah,
it's different. But at the same time, it is something that's always on my mind. So I naturally just fell in line with my father liking politics. And I just understood it. It was just I just understood politics, and I like law. So it was just something that it just clicked with me. Sort of like just playing defensive end. It just fit. It just fits.
So you have your dad running, you're helping your dad, you're playing football, Syracuse strong. How did it come about that you ended up in this opportunity playing defensive end for this team?
Mm-hmm. So the story is really funny. With me, what happened was I was actually at the gym, and I was looking up tryouts and stuff like that, and I was sort of just waiting my turn.
Yeah.
And actually my Pop Warner coach from 5th grade came up to me, and he used to play semi-pro when I was in Pop Warner, and he told me about Syracuse Strong, and he told me about the championships that he won with Syracuse back in his day, and he just got me really excited. And then, at that point, I never looked at semi-pro. I never thought about semi-pro. So then after that conversation, I went out and I did my research. And I saw that, there's some players that get that second opportunity from semi-pro, whether it's AFL, CFL, or they jump straight to the NFL. So, I opened up my eyes and I said, this might be my ticket. So it was a good fit for me, joining the semi-pro team. I think that Syracuse has the new management is really they're very high class. And then when I say high class, they're very enthusiastic about making sure that all the players get the opportunity. They're very enthusiastic about just making sure that the fans of Syracuse actually look at semi-pro not as like some Pop Warner team of 30-year-old men that just want that last. No, it's not that. The owners now they're trying to turn this program into something that can be historic for Syracuse. Yeah. They want fans to treat Syracuse Strong like like professionals, like stars. And a lot of these kids on the team, they do have it where they should have the opportunity to just be looked at differently, to still play at a high level, to still be able to run, sprint, jump, tackle. Your body breaks down over years, and you're looking at guys that are from ages 21 to 37 still on the team, and I think that's amazing to see these guys still out here playing. And for me, to see them still playing and to love the sport, whether or not they want to go to the next level, it softens me and it humbles me, because I realize that it's the love. It's not about the glamour. It's the love for the sport, and that helps me out a lot, because I really do love the sport, and I want everybody to know that I love the sport. So I train hard. I stay after practice. I come to extra events. And then also I try to perform on the field, because I love the sport so much that I see myself going in a direction where more people in America or Canada can just see me as a player.
I know. Knowing that you want to keep going from here, what is driving you to do it, to make a professional team, whether it be the NFL, CFL, AFL, there's other teams that are out there, leagues that are out there, to be on a professional team? What makes you feel like you can do it? What's driving you to do it? And how confident are you that you're going to get it done?
I'm very confident, just because I've seen the different players that I played in college. I've seen some players, go to the next level that I played against in college. And I'm out here researching. So I'm looking up, rosters on the NFL, different teams, rosters on the CFL. I'm looking at these players and I'm sizing myself up. I'm looking at these guys who are like 6 foot, 245, or 6'1", 250, and then I'm looking at myself being 6'3", 260, and I'm saying, maybe, I'm the size. And then now I'm the size, but now let's go to the weight room. Now I can actually work out. And then I'm performing on the field. So I'm very confident in what I can do for the next level. And I think that I can bring a lot to the next level. But on top of that, what's really driving me is the small stuff. And, it's my family. It's to be able to, the biggest thing right now is my sister. She just had a baby, and my second nephew, he is too young to even know what the world is going on around him. But my older nephew, he just started playing football 2 weeks ago. So it's just seeing him playing football, and then I want him to be able to tell his other teammates, my uncle plays in the NFL, or my uncle plays in the CFL, or my uncle, and I want that, and I want to be spoken about, whether it's through my family or friends, and also, I want to be that person. I want to make that story. I want to show people that you can make it regardless of how many steps back you taking. And I'm speaking to like the inner city kids in Syracuse. I'm speaking to that that kid that goes to that big school in Syracuse, like the Beevilles or the CNSs, where you can't really get noticed because there's 60, 70 players on a football roster. So I'm talking to that kid to say, just keep fighting, because like I said, I was that kid. I didn't start my junior year of high school. I didn't start my sophomore year of high school. I didn't start ninth grade year. I didn't start in Pop Warner. I started in my senior year of high school, and then from there it just went up. So and that's something that fuels me inside, because I know where I've been, and I feel like if I was able to do that in high school and go to college and make all this noise that I'm making right now as semi-pro, then maybe I can do something more. And I just want to be able to show Syracuse what I can do, and also, like I said, I just want to be that person that my family can look up to and say that he did it, say that he made it, and that fuels me a lot.
And your family looking up to you, you brought up inner city kids, people that are in, on good teams, but, sometimes you get lost in the shuffle, that there's different things that can cause adversity coming from an inner city, not having mom, not having dad, not having both, growing up and trying to find the right fit in school, having trouble in school, having trouble learning, wanting to play football, not taking the classroom seriously, or taking the classroom seriously but having to wait your turn. There's so many different things that can happen to a student athlete. So out of respect for all the people that are out there that are watching us and listening to us, I think, Austin, it's important for you to give those people an opportunity. And, what is the message that you want to sell to them, show to them, tell them that this is something they should buy into and care about?
Yeah, my message for those kids would be, take a second and just realize your worth. And when I say that, I mean it. And a lot of kids that I meet, they say, well, I'm not good enough, or I'm smart, but, college might be too hard for me. No, know your worth. Your mind capability is way wider than you would ever think. And your body can do a lot more than you would ever imagine. So I tell kids all the time, just know your worth and just keep plugging, keep trying, because eventually, something's going to happen. You're going to be so prepared to the point where somebody's just going to give you that chance, or you're going to be so ahead of your class or your peers where they're going to say he's that guy. And, I'm a spoken truth of that actually happening. And I take full credit, from my family. My family and my friends and just my coaches, they were the ones who helped me out. And a lot of these kids don't have that circle. A lot of people don't have that base of people to fall back on. And when you don't have that, that's when you need to know your worth. That's when you have to say, well, I can still do what I can do. Whether you're not getting those likes on Instagram, or whether you're not getting people retweeting you, or whether you're not passing the look test. Just know who you are and know where you want to be, and make plans, make goals. That's something I do a lot. I have background. I have backup plans all the way to Z, from A to Z, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what you will have to do or what responsibilities you might have to take over. And once you make goals, and it's hard to fall out of line once you make goals, because that's the only thing that you're thinking about. and you're not worried about doing drugs. You're not worried about partying. You're not worried about having 6, 7 girlfriends. You're not worried about what you're gonna do tonight. You're worried about what you need to do today to make your goal happen. And that's something that the younger kids have a hard time doing, because there's so many distractions, whether it's TV or Xbox or friends, whatever it is. There's so many distractions to take you off your path, and also the school system as well. School system are changing nowadays. They're really plugging for all the children, and I think that's great, because now that the schools are looking at kids more than just a number, these kids are starting to know their worth, and we're seeing higher graduation rates in inner city schools and stuff like that. And I think that's awesome. I think that's great. So that would be my message to the kids, to just keep plugging and know your worth.
That coming from Austin Morris, somebody who is working to realize his goals, his dreams, his aspirations, but also serving as a representative for the belief, the notion, the faith that yours can come true as well. For Austin Morris, I'm Dan Tortora, here inside of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora's studios for this special that you've listened and heard on wakeupcalldt.com and on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. God bless, be well, and know from the two people that are sitting here, the only two people on this video, we chase our dreams. Austin's gotten after some, he's chasing other ones, I'm doing the same. I wouldn't be here today sitting next to this guy if I didn't chase my own. Be well, we'll talk to you soon.